And we are live. Welcome to Heike Martin Photography and a wonderful little chat with Dana Robertson from Pen Creatives. She is a dreamer, and she will probably explain a little bit more about who she is and what she does in just a moment. But because we want to talk all about values-based business or values-based branding. Dana and I actually met a couple of years ago when I had a client. She got her images done with me and was also looking for someone to do her website. Ended up working with Dana and her husband, Chris. And that is how we connected. We had no idea who we were beforehand. So I'm so grateful for my client, Carol Cool, who introduced us through the images I took for them and the amazing work that you guys did for her. So welcome, Dana.
Thank you.
Honored to have you on board with me today. And I would love if you can share just a little bit like who you are and then talk about you, the dreamer, and also give us a little bit of insight because I know you do quite a bit of work already with values-based business. Give me a little bit the background. Like, how did you get into this? What triggered it? What does it look like now?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So at Pen Creatives, I'm the dreamer, and I am, what that means is I'm the creative director, and I work with all of our clients. So you always see me first when you work with us at Pen, because I am the person that kind of does the project management, sets up what is happening. And so at Pennant, we specialize in what we call values-based branding. And so that actually, no matter what you're doing with us, we are doing some part of values-based branding with you, because what values-based branding is it's a way to brand in a more all-inclusive way than what we would know of as our traditional brand. Traditional brand is, you're picking the logo, the fonts, the colors. You put it all together. It's distinctively known visually as you, your business, or if you're a solopreneur, your own personal brand. But the thing with values-based branding is it extends beyond just that traditional visual, and it can go to any point of your organization. So that means it can be part of that traditional website or your brochures or your business card, but it also can extend to your operations, who you are and your business practices, how your employees engage as a team, and what that means for the core of your business. So it's more than just even the what you do. It's the how you do it. It's the why you do it. And that's all part of your brand. So that's what values-based branding is. And so when you're working with me, usually what we're doing is really getting some time to understand what that means for you and your business. And we use that to drive the entire process that we do with you, because we believe that creativity is an incredible avenue to understanding our values and understanding who we are at our core, but also what that means for the world of business, what that means for the businesses that we're running.
Which is amazing. And I think that's probably another reason why you and I connected on such a level. And for anyone who's maybe just joining us, please let us know in the comments that you're here. We would love to know who's listening. And also if you have any questions, because values-based branding, running a values-based business, I think is something that at the core all of us want, because we're very much aware of our own values. And so I would love to know what questions you have for either Dana or I that we can hopefully answer, if maybe not today, but at least in the comments at a later point, because we would love to have conversation with that. And I think when I look actually back at how Dana and I connected, like through the images I did for Carol, I think part of what clicked for us was, again, like when I look at how I do images for my clients, it's a very similar process. I look very deeply into who my clients are, like what are their values in their business, how do they want to be perceived by their clients, how do we visually need to sort of bring that to action. And then I love what you're bringing in then by really creating this entire marketing package for your clients and helping them think on an even deeper level than what I can do with what I'm doing. So I feel like I'm touching on a lot of things, but I love the depth that you bring to the process. So do you mind sharing just a little bit on like what goes into the process? Like what do your clients need to bring? What kind of homework maybe do they need to do before they even come to you? Or
No, I mean, well, see, that's the thing. That's the beauty of this is usually most of the homework is in you. That's what I say. I actually was meeting with someone a couple weeks ago. We were going through the initial process and they were like, I didn't realize I needed to be prepared to take a test. And I'm like, oh, don't you worry. The pressure's on me because I'm the one that's going to help you synthesize this, but you know your business better than anyone else. And that is, I think that's true regardless of if you're working in a business, if you're head of marketing, or if you're a solopreneur. I mean, regardless, you know it inside and out. And so I think what our job is in some of our initial sessions is to kind of look at it from several different angles. And so that's what I try to do. Um, and that also not only gives us what we need to kind of get started with the objectives at hand, but it gives you a roadmap to address some of those parts of the brand that, like, really honestly, most marketing agencies don't even really look at. So the ability for us to create what your values are and be able to get them out and they kind of evidence themselves. It's not even that we just pick them, they're there. And so it's like surfacing those and figuring what to do with that, the implementation of how do you do that in your team. How does that show up on a website? How are these things happening? That's the work that we do. And so we try to give you a roadmap of what that looks like, just a big picture. And so, yeah, it's sometimes I'll ask for like some things for pre-homework just for me, honestly. But really you come with the knowledge that you already have and what you bring to the table, which is a lot.
which is interesting because I follow a somewhat similar process. I do have my clients fill out I call it a branding intentions questionnaire. And that sort of gives me a little bit of like, because I want to hear their brand story and hear a little bit of like, again, like where they're coming from, what brought them to where they're at, and then also goals. And then we dig deep into like adjectives again of how they would like to be perceived and how they want to be seen as a business and as a person. And I had one of my last clients, it was really interesting. She said, like, I have these different parts of that I'm really trying to figure out. They're like different parts of my story. And how do I connect those dots? And that was like, because each part was like something very values-based to her. And she wanted to figure out, like, how do I bring this into my business and make it mesh? And so that's what we ended up doing. And like you said, like the synthesizing of like this deep listening that we have to do to our clients in order to hear the in between the line, whatever's between what they're telling us to figure out like what are those values in there and how can we help you pull them out and then actually bring them to life for you. So
yeah.
So I think that's pretty awesome. Now the one thing, and I know we're kind of excited. I mean, I've been following Dana for a while now, so I've been sort of listening. I've been getting her emails, and by the way, if you're on her, make sure you're on her. Get on her mailing list. You get like nuggets of information. What I and like I say in this process, because I'm getting your emails and I'm like keep watching you and what you guys are up to. And I think you made a comment. I know I came to one of your webinars on values-based business and helping us through all of this. And then you made a post somewhere. And that just triggered something in me and said, like, I need to keep talking to this woman because she is completely on the same wavelength where I'm at. And out of that, we are starting to concoct something pretty exciting. So we've been talking for 7 weeks now. And we are, maybe you want to say what we're doing? Go for it.
So we're going to be hosting a once a week meetup and we're calling it values-based business. And this is going to be for anyone who really resonates with that understanding that their business is so much more than the what you do, but it's the why behind what you do and those values. And so I'm so excited to be doing this with you, Heike, because I think that we're going to hear a lot of really cool stories about how different business owners do this.
Yeah. And I think the question with that came up for us too, like, who are we doing this for, or who are we doing this with? Is this only specific businesses? Are we talking any kind of business? I mean, when you're thinking values-based branding or running a values-based business, is this only for certain types of businesses?
Yeah. Yeah. And we like talked back and forth and we were like, no,
Yeah,
really,
exactly.
it isn't. It isn't. It's not for a specific industry. Like, really, my vision is that, um, this values based branding for us is partially because we see it works and it's just how we do things. And that's how I love to do branding. But it's also because I really feel strongly that um, every business and every brand has values, whether you know it or not. I mean, but so it's like using that can be world changing, it can be life changing. And so I feel like really whether you are, doing like carpentry or like in a, very straightforward like industry, or if you're in a creative industry, I feel like either way, we all have values and we all live them out. And so let's bring that to our businesses and
Yeah.
see it's for anyone.
So I feel like probably the first step for all of us is just like that we need to raise more awareness. Because like you said, like I do believe that all of us, we're already running our business based on certain values, but we're sometimes not aware. And
Right.
sometimes we're not quite aware of like how is this actually coming across to our customers when someone comes to our website, or I mean the language we use on our website or in our marketing materials, or the language we use when we answer the phone. I mean, it's
Mhm.
all of those kinds of things, the emails we're sending, are like any kind of communication that we do. Is it actually
Mhm.
physically in person, or is it in print or online, written materials, like images? All of them
Mhm.
have something, share something about our values. And I think what we're hoping to do with this forum that we'll be offering is to raise that awareness and to help all of us grow and become better with that.
Mhm.
Um, Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, we're hoping to bring on influencers, voices of people who in business who are doing this, and like I think everyone does it in their own way. So it's going to be really cool to see where we can find inspiration, and where we can see these businesses showing up in the world.
Yeah.
So.
I think what I'm looking forward is like to, again, like to have just different people come in as, I mean, really
Mhm.
share. Maybe we're having different speakers come in, but
Right.
also like some panel discussions that we can really
Hmm.
maybe pull out different topics and harness the power of different voices,
Hmm.
different angles, and yeah, awesomely just really, really help each other grow in our business and become better. Because I think one of the things that I realize is we're heading into 2021, especially after the pandemic this past year, and we're still in it. But
Hmm.
things have shifted, and I think how we do business is also shifting. And in order to just be more aware, we
Hmm.
have to do a little bit more digging on the inside, not just, oh, I'm just opening up a shop. I'm doing everything like factual, like running my numbers, doing this and this and this, and running the ads, this and doing that. It's not working like that anymore. People
Right.
people want to know who you are, and the people want to understand how you run your business, and can they trust working with you.
Hmm.
Um, so
Yeah, I think like the that authenticity, the transparency piece is extremely important, and it is, I think, like you're saying, like given what we've been through. I was just at a conference. You went,
yeah,
the
there too.
Sustainable Brands Conference,
Yeah,
and it was saying like that. There's a lot of studies right now that people are looking not necessarily to get back to business as usual,
yeah,
and
yeah.
hoping to see change and hoping to see different things come out of this for the world of business and the economy. And so I think that there's a lot um, that all of us as business owners need to be thinking about when it comes to our own brands, and not only pivoting the way that business is done, but pivoting how business is done.
And I know for those of you who are listening right now, we really, really value input, because
Hmm.
this is definitely something new for Dana and I to run a forum like this, and it really works when we hear from all of you in what would you like to hear? Again, like what questions
Yeah.
can we bring? How can we answer some of those questions or bring the right people on to answer those questions? So we really would like for this to be a community-based forum where all of our voices are being heard. We're actually in the process of starting a group on LinkedIn and also on Facebook where we can have conversation happening. So stay tuned for some of those things. We have a website that we're in the process of creating because the conversations we are planning on having will be with sign up only because we really want to make sure that you're coming in and you're getting value and that it happens in maybe a smaller group so that your voices can also be heard. So we'll definitely have more to say in a little bit, but our first live event will be happening on March 23rd. It's a Tuesday. We'll be doing this every Tuesday at 4 o'clock, starting the end of the month. So
Mark your calendars.
Yeah, put it on your calendar. And like I said, we will have information coming out soon. And with that, also a website where you can start signing up so that you will get the link to join and just be part of the conversation. That is really, really what I would like to hope. What is my biggest hope out of this,
Same.
that this will be a community-based conversation that helps all of us grow as people and in our business.
Yeah. So, we've
Nicole,
got somebody who's
Nicole
excited. Hi, Nicole.
said, yeah, awesome. I'm so glad that's exactly what I want to hear, Nicole. So I hope you will join us and I hope others will join us so that we can grow this and again, make this an amazing experience for all of us as we're moving into 2021 and beyond and creating businesses that are steeped in values because I think our clients deserve that. Dana, thank you so much for joining me here.
Thanks for having me.
Final words.
I just remembered that I have a values-based branding webinar coming up on March 9th at 4 o'clock. Okay. So just letting people know if you want to learn more about values-based branding just before this thing starts, would love to have some of you join that. I just remembered that I had that. So
we'll make sure we put the link in the comments then so people can.
Okay. And but other than that, I'm just stoked and I'm so excited to just do this and yeah, any feedback, just.
And I'm excited that you and I get to do this together. I think this is awesome. Yeah. I think what I find awesome is that we're bringing two different age groups to the table. Not because it's not just millennials, it's not just, I don't even know what age group I belong to, but I'm definitely in the upper one here. But I love that we're bringing different voices because of that. That it's not just a one-sided conversation going into for a certain age group, but that we're realizing that values-based business works for all of us, no matter what age group we're in and what type of business we're actually running. So stay tuned, everybody. We're excited, and we will see you in shortly with more information. So talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Bye, everyone.